Yes, good morning people. You know what day it is. It is Thursday and you already know what I'm doing. 5:40 got up, time's about 5:45 now. I have brushed my teeth, weighed myself, brushed my teeth, went for a piss, weighed myself in that order, poured the morning sups into the drink, taken a sip. Now I'm doing steps and I'll be in here for 15 minutes and it's a training day today up at 2. So you already know what the first meal is going to be. 2 eggs, 100 gram salmon, 175 sourdough, tomatoes, spinach and some fruit. Simple as that. But yeah, in today's video I will give you some tips on digestion and keeping your appetite. I think that's a big thing, it's the big bottleneck behind people is keeping their appetite, especially when pushing up, because a lot of people, they can diet. I think dieting is actually easier than pushing up, because when you're dieting, you get the instant gratification, the instant result of, you're seeing your abs come out, you're seeing your veins come out, you're seeing definition start to come through. But when you're pushing food up, and for some people it can be fucking hard mentally, because they're just not used to eating that amount of food. Once you've done it a few times and you've really pushed the boat out with food, it gets a lot easier, especially if you're someone that's in the past been really heavy as well. It does get really easy. I've bulked purposely up to 102 kilos, so what's that, about 220 pounds, or 225 pounds, something like that. So for me, I'm sat at 180 right now. My food back then was like 6k a day, and I was doing that for probably a few months, and I had no issue doing that. So for me, pushing up is absolutely fine, but also dieting for me is absolutely fine. But my appetite is always firing. I'm never starving, but I'm always hungry, so it's a blessing. Yeah, I'll give a few tips on digestion of food and keeping appetite in today's video, but I'm gonna do these steps, get back to some client messages, make meal one. Yes people, we are back. Morning shift done, also got back to client messages and done a bit of the last bit of the client setup. So all I've got to do today is record the onboarding video. What am I doing now? Preparing the pre-workout meal. And for those of you that have been paying attention to Monday and Tuesday's video, you already know what's coming up. 115 grams of cream of rice, 40 whey, 20 dark chocolate, 100 berries and cinnamon on top. But talking about appetite, the first thing to note is to make yourself actually not to keep your appetite firing is make sure the food you're eating you actually enjoy. So if you don't like bagels, don't fucking eat bagels. You don't have to eat bagels. There's no rule saying you have to eat bagels. If you don't like chicken, you don't have to eat chicken. If you don't like protein powder, you don't have to have protein powder. So that's the first thing, is make sure you're actually eating foods that you enjoy. But secondly, make the food you eat look enjoyable. So if you do like chicken and rice, I mean, that's fine, I like chicken and rice. Make it look enjoyable. Don't just put boiled, unseasoned chicken on plain basmati rice, no sauce, no veg, and just think, oh, my appetite's gone. No, because the food looks shit. You think about it, if you went to a restaurant and you ordered a curry and it was just like a drizzle of, or maybe a curry is not the best example. If you went to get a pizza and you ordered a pizza and it was like a surprise me pizza and they brought you out a plain margarita pizza, it was like a drizzle of tomato puree on the thing, barely any, no pepperoni, no toppings, no wonder you're not going to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? But if you go to that restaurant and you order a meat feast pizza and it's got all your favourite toppings on it, for me, olives, peppers, stuff like that, barbecue base, mate, I'm going to be foaming at the mouth to eat that. And the same goes for when I make my meals at home, when I make my chicken and potatoes, when I make my cream of rice, when I make anything, I'll make it look good. And if that means I spend an extra 2 or 5 minutes making the meal, then I'll do that. Because if I'm salivating out the mouth, just making the meal's going to digest good, because that's where digestion starts, right? It starts when you start salivating, you start releasing those digestive enzymes into the mouth to actually help break down the food. So that's going to be the first thing to like keep appetite up, and then a little like reminder on how to actually digest your food well. And another thing to keep an appetite up is like space out your meals. Like if you're eating every hour, or you have to eat meals really close together, then you're probably not going to be hungry ready for the next meal. Like for me, it's anywhere between 2 hours is like, not pushing it, but 2 hours is like, right, I can't eat. If I don't eat now, it's going to go over 4.5 hours. So then it will be 2 hours. But most of the time for me, it's 2.5 to 4 hours. And again, 4 hours is pushing it. But again, if I have to go slightly over that, that's absolutely fine. If I have to go slightly under that, that's absolutely fine. But if you're constantly, eating a huge meal, and then again, eating a huge meal in like an hour and a half, you might be able to do that a few times, but you're probably not going to be able to do that every single day. Especially when you get deeper into like a push-up phase or something like that. And, if you're putting 2 1,000 calorie meals an hour and a half away from each other, likelihood is you probably haven't even finished digesting the first meal. And one sec, I'll move you over here while I do the whey paste. But the likelihood is you probably haven't even finished digesting that first meal, right? And now you're having to put in another meal there. So no wonder your appetite's shit, because you haven't even got an appetite because your body hasn't even processed that you've eaten a meal yet. So that's another thing as well, like spacing out your meals and just having and then again, the next tip is consistent meal times. For some people, if you're working shifts, you can't really do this. But if you're someone that, you're working a 9 till 5, likelihood is you can probably eat at the same time every day. So you should already kind of be getting up at the same time, going to bed at the same time, and then you kind of know what times you're eating your meals at. Like for me, it's like 6:30 to 7, and then it's like 9 till 10, somewhere in between that gap, and then it's like 1 till 2, and then it's like 4 till 5, and then it's like 7 till 8. Those are like my 5 meals, and they're a window. I'm not being like, I've got to eat at 7:30 on the dot, and if I don't, I'm being an idiot. No, I'm being an idiot by thinking that I can adhere to that, because if I'm out or I'm working or something like that and I can't adhere to it, then I just push the meal back 20 minutes or wait till I finish what I need to do. That's absolutely fine. So setting yourself consistent meal timings is going to be another one. I'll show you the cream of rice when this comes out. Fucking hell, look at that. 115, and then I'll do about 1 to 4 ratio water. So I think it's about 460, quick maths. But yeah, just consistent meal times, consistent meals, foods that you enjoy, making them look enjoyable. Like I'll show you this meal when it's done, which to some of you, it might not look enjoyable. To me, this looks fucking incredible. So, it's all personal preference. And then when it comes down to digestion as well, it's just make sure you're actually chewing your food. Like the thing I kind of describe is chew it until it is this like disgusting mush in your mouth. If you can chew the food to that point, it's going to digest well. And the reason for that is, I might disappear for a second because I've got to get something from the, fuck it, I'll take you with me. This is how impromptu I am. The reason you want to chew your food loads is because that saliva, which is the digestive enzymes, and then when it goes into your stomach and it gets digested, if you break down the food into a larger surface area, the larger surface area means that there's more area for the digestive enzymes to latch onto, break down the food and digest it. Whereas if I swallow this blueberry whole, it can only, the bits that you can see and touch are the only bits that the digestive enzymes can break down. But if I break this down into a mush, it's the same quantity of food, same volume of food. However, there's a larger surface area that can be broken down. So it's not having to break in and through. There's less depth, basically. That's kind of how I would explain it. If that doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. So yeah, chewing your food, eating in a relaxed state. Don't be eating in an argument and not chewing your food. Shout out to Bevo. Bevo was the worst for that. He would literally just warf his food down, if you remember him. He's a TikTok OG. So yeah, chew your food, relaxed environment, sit down, ideally not doing work. If you can eat, if you work from home, try and eat in a slightly different environment to where you work from, because a lot of time people can latch on to the work stress, if that makes sense, when they're eating in the same environment. And take your time. Don't rush. That kind of comes under chewing your food, but take your time. Like, you know, if you're finishing a meal in 5 minutes, your body hasn't even registered that you've eaten a meal. So it's not even ready to like digest it. Whereas if you just take like you make your meal, you take a couple of minutes, you sit there, you look at the meal, you register in your brain that you're about to eat something, your brain's then ready, it's getting ready to digest food. And then the last tip as well is get on a walk before or after. If you're going to do one after the meal, move that food around. Don't let it just sit in the stomach, and tell your body, signal to your body, right, we need to use this now. So yeah, those are my simple tips for appetite and digestion. If I think of any others, I'll bring them up in this video, which I'm sure I will. But for now, I'm going to get this down me. As usual, watch something when I eat, maybe do some work after for like 10 minutes, do a little walk whilst also working on my phone, and then go to the gym for a nice upper session. But I'll see you whenever I turn on the camera next. And just quickly, I'll show you the schmeal in question, if I can move the camera down. Bosh. See what I mean? Might not look appetizing to you. To me, that looks like heaven on earth. But anyway, I'll catch you next time I pick up the camera. Yes, people, post-workout, you already know the deal. Protein shake being made for later. In here, already prepped. Look at this. Bang. Saves me, what, a minute? If I didn't do that, I would have had to weigh it out all now. Let's faff around. Chicken, rice, broccoli in here. If I wanted to save extra time, could eat it cold. Luckily, I'm at home, microwave on hand. I just realised I've not put the mic on, so I'm going to be very quiet. Give me 1 second, let it connect. There we go, it is connected. Yeah, if I wanted to save time, I could eat that cold. But I've got the time. 3 minutes on the timer. Salt going in Le Protein Shake. Low salt going in Le Protein Shake. Simple as that. Take that to work, scran it. How was the session? Session was good. Session was fucking good. Pump was stupid. Still got abs this deep into off season now. 7 months post show today. Mate, that is mad. 7 months post show today. Today is the 5th of March. I competed on the second and last show of the season was the 5th of August. So that is 7 months, I believe. If not, maths is off, sue me. I did get taken out of maths when I was at school because I couldn't spell. So, would make sense if I've done it wrong. What was I going to say? Yeah, so last little bit on the digestion and the nutrition part is pick foods that digest well for you, right? So as we said earlier, pick foods that you like, pick foods that are convenient for you, which is not into the digestion bit, but I guess it kind of is. Because if you've only got like 5 minutes to eat a meal, 10 minutes to eat a meal, you don't want to be scranning chicken and rice. Like, it's just not going to sit well. So a protein shake or something that's already kind of pre-mushed is probably going to be more beneficial for yourself. But choosing foods that digest well for you just means choosing foods that don't cause discomfort. That can be bloating, that can be going to the toilet, that can be burping. You know, if you're, like, a very common one, it's not even a food, it's a drink, is Monster. People will drink Monster or fizzy drinks and then they're burping and shit for like 20 minutes after. That is not normal and it is not good. I'm getting the raspberries out of the fridge. That is not normal and not good. That means that it's not doing anything good in your body. I can promise you that now. Sorry, a bit of a mess here. Got to get the raspberries out. Fucking hell. Sorry, I've got 2 things in my hand and I'm trying to operate this and get stuff out of the fridge. But yeah, choose things that digest well for you. For example, with me, I can have oats every now and then, but if I have oats consistently for like a few weeks, I'll be in a state of permanent bloat. And then I literally take it out and within 2 days, it will go down. Another one for me is eggs. Now I can eat eggs, no issue, but if I eat eggs 7 days a week, at some point, I will, it's gonna sound mad. I start to, when I sweat, the smell of egg comes through in my sweat. Now, I don't get any, like nothing happens when I go to the toilet. It doesn't make me like bloat. It doesn't make me, cause any digestive stress. However, first of all, I don't want to be having my sweat smell of eggs, because if I'm doing cardio, I'm in the gym, it fucking ruins my clothes. I've had to throw clothes away before. And I know it's the eggs because I've tried it. I eat them and then I pull it out and literally within 2 days it goes. But what I have tried is, I've tried having it just on rest days, which I've done in the past because that worked. And then post show, I've now tried having it just on training days, which is 5 days a week. And so far, touch wood, is there any wood around? Touch wood. My sweat is not smelling of eggs. So it means I can have it 5 days a week, and I love eggs. That was the issue that I always had, is I love eggs. So it was really annoying. But if they don't digest well for me, they don't digest well. So even if you love a food, if it doesn't sit well, don't fucking eat it. And then I think the last point I'll touch on is actually, don't over-fixate on digestion. Like if you are fine most days of the week, right? And then you have one day where, instead of going to the toilet 1 or 2 times, you go 3 times and there's a loose one or whatever. That doesn't mean that your digestion's gone to shit. You're probably someone that works in a job, works in an office, works somewhere, right? And bugs go around and no one is immune to them. No one is immune to getting ill, right? And if you just have one bad day of digestion, that doesn't mean that you need to start like overanalyzing everything. It's just one bad day. But if that one bad day turns into 2 bad days and 3 bad days and 4 bad days, yeah, potentially you need to address something. But just one is absolutely fine. Like I've had it before where I've had, one loose shit because I've probably got something going on. Like I didn't need time off the gym. I didn't need to address anything, but it was just one loose shit and I didn't think anything of it. And then, the rest of the day I'm fine. I'm not bloating. I'm not in pain, nothing like that. And you just get on with it. It's as simple as that. Just no need to overcomplicate it. But I'm scran this. I've got work this afternoon in about 45 minutes. Gonna record the new client setup video, get that over to them. And get changed for work. So I'll see you tonight when I probably start making meal 5 a rooney. Yes, people, you know what time it is. Hashtag evening shower, hashtag fuck blue light. So I've been in for like 20 minutes now. So far, prepped the veg for the last meal, weighed out the salt for the last meal. But I've also prepped my intra for tomorrow, which is the same, 30 carb, 10 creatine and EAA, and I accidentally put glutamine in there because I was also prepping for tomorrow's morning drink and I accidentally put glutamine in there, so there's an extra 10 grams of glutamine in my day tomorrow. But then I also prep my morning stuff for tomorrow, so glutathione, glutamine, creatine, and then obviously hydration will go in the bottle. But tomorrow we'll walk outside, hopefully if it's not raining, because I don't have work in the morning. But tomorrow morning is check-in day for most of my clients, because it's the first day of the week that I can just sit down and get them done early on in the morning, because I hate leaving them till late. I always will get a same day response as long as they submit it before 9 a.m. But I like doing it early on in the morning. I like doing it as it comes through, and I think as the client as well, it's exciting when you send off your check-in and you get it back within like an hour or 2 hours max. Before midday you're getting it back and you kind of know what you're doing, ready for the next week. Not that it's a big deal if you don't. That's not me slagging off anyone if they don't get it. There's even with my coaches in the past and present, sometimes if I'm in off season I don't need a response straight away. I might send my check-in 6-7 a.m. and I might not get it back till like 6-7 p.m. because I just don't need it. I don't need it by then. That's not all the time, but sometimes that does happen. You got to appreciate these people, coaches. The full-time ones, they're busy. They're busy people, and even if they're not a full-time coach, like myself, they might have another job. But that's why I put my check-ins on Friday, because I don't have to be anywhere, so I can get them done early on in the morning. If any come through late, which thankfully most of the time they don't, because the guys and girls I've got on the team at the moment, fucking spot on with that. They get to me on time. So, but if any do come through late, I'll just get back to them at the end of the day. What have I got left to do this afternoon is eat this meal, and I've got a little bit of work to do on the laptop, so I'll do that downstairs after I've eaten. And then I'll go to bed at normal time and be up instead of 5:40 tomorrow. Get up at 6. I know 20-minute laying. I still go to bed at the same time, but other than that, it's another day done and dusted. Little talk about appetite, little talk about digestion. Basically, don't stress about it. You haven't got shit digestion if you have one bad day. Chew your food, choose foods that agree with you, make your food look good, enjoy your food, choose food you enjoy. Probably said the same thing a few times there, but anyway, Thursday, 5th of March, upper 2 was done. It's been your boy, your home slice, and I'll see you in #Friday, going bowling tomorrow as well. Maybe I'll record some bits there, maybe I won't. But anyway, good night, #FuckBlueLight.